Hi, it's Mike. I just wanted to give a quick update on the 404 logic app issue we've been having. Just a bit more troubleshooting that's been done. So I think where we got to on the previous video, so we'd identified the logic app was having issues. We had serverless 360 doing a ping test up here, running in West US 2. That was working fine. We had App Insights doing ping tests from the Azure Edge Network CDN locations for the availability test. That's working fine as well. I was getting intermittent 404s when I execute tests from here. So, like, I was thinking it's the something on this bit basically here gets into Azure, and it's struggling occasionally to get to the website, the web app host and the logic apps once it's in Azure. Um, One of the things to probably note that kind of reinforces that is it's a Microsoft error page that we get here. Um, it's not like something to do with my provider or something at home. What I was wondering was, right, is it possible that it's something to do with because I've got it working on Azure up here seemingly consistently well, and I'm not seeming to get the issues I'm getting from home. So the question was, is it something to do with my home network or my internet provider? So what I sort of think, right, what can I do for other ways of triggering these tests? Can I run my tests on my Postman on another machine? So most of the other machines I've got available are actually VMs hosted on Azure. So that would put me back in the same place up here where I'd be repeating the test that I'm kind of doing for serverless 360. So I really need a VM out here or another machine. So what I was thinking was I've got a couple of machines in the house. Um, so the first thing I did was I'm over at home. I've got this machine, and I've got a second machine in my office. So I had been running it on machine one. I thought, right, let's just set it up on machine two, run that, and just make sure it's not a machine thing. I'd tried things like flushing the DNS cache and some of the usual stuff, restart the machine. It didn't really seem to make any difference. So I ran it over here on machine two. That had the same errors, so I was getting the same inconsistent behavior on machine two as machine one. So that to me rules out that it's probably not a machine specific issue. So the next thing I did was, right, we've got these two machines. What can I do about a different way of, like if we focus on this line here, so we're assuming it's probably this, but can we rule out this line here? So what I did, if you imagine, I use a company called Virgin Media. So they're the same kind of group as Virgin Atlantic Airlines for some people who may not have heard of them before. They're a UK internet provider called Virgin Media. So they're part of the group of companies that originally were founded by Richard Branson. Um, that I've got a pretty good internet connection at home. I haven't been having any problems with any other websites. I haven't had any problems with anything like streaming Netflix or music or anything like that. So if I imagine everything else seems fine, the only thing I've really been having problems with are these tests. So that's one bit of evidence to suggest that might be okay. But the next thing I did was actually if we extend my home over here, and I'll just put it down here, but it's still home. Um, so I've got machine one and machine two, and even though I've done things like restarted my router, restarted the machines, etc. So what I did is I got my mobile phone. Um, I've got it on 5G, and I basically tethered the Wi-Fi on both of these machines to my 5G, And then this isn't connected to the Virgin Media broadband or anything, it's just using standard EE's 5G. So EE is the mobile phone provider, and that basically is calling the exact same Postman test, same URL as before, and I get exactly the same issues here. So I'm getting in cases where I've tried doing it in like an incognito browser, normal browser, Postman tests, run my automated tests. I get this intermittent behavior where sometimes it works pretty much fine, and then it just starts getting into these sections of time where it gets these 404 errors, and it can't execute the logic apps. It can't browse to the base URL for the web app that hosts the logic app. So I think that is another piece of evidence that kind of reinforces that there's something on the Azure side. Once the traffic hits the Azure network here, it's obviously hitting some kind of entry point load balancer. That entry point can't find internally this web app over here. That's where I'm getting the 404. So the evidence that I get it on the 5G here, I get it when I do it through Virgin Media Broadband. I get the Microsoft error page back saying that it can't find the site, which says I am getting to Azure, and Azure can't forward the traffic from there. So to me, if we take the evidence that I've got available, the evidence says this is probably this entry point in Azure, so it's probably not Logic Apps, it's probably not my home network, it's probably not my machines at home, it's something on the entry point routing traffic from the UK through Azure to a web app hosted in in West US 2. So I'll feed this back to the support call, and I'll give another update on this when we've progressed this a bit further. But hopefully that evidence-based approach to troubleshooting helps you zone in on the problem. So when I think about what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to rule out that it's this over here. I'm trying to rule out areas that could be the cause of the problem and just narrow my focus. We ruled out this, we ruled out stuff fire down app insights. We're trying to zone in on where the issue might be, and I think we've definitely put it in this place here as being the area to look at. Thank you for listening. Hopefully that you're enjoying the troubleshooting here.